They say the most powerful weapons in the world are not made of steel, missiles, or bombs, but of people. And when it comes to the Philippines, there is a hidden strength. The world is only beginning to understand because Filipinos are everywhere shaping industries, influencing culture, powering economies, and quietly changing the future of nations. This is the story of why Filipinos are the world's most powerful secret weapon. Imagine a country of just over 110 million people producing a global force so strong that it impacts every corner of the globe, from America to the Middle East, from Europe to Asia. The Filipino spirit is everywhere. What makes them so powerful? It begins with their resilience through history. The Philippines has endured colonization wars, natural disasters, and political struggles. Yet the people stand tall, smiling, singing, and rebuilding again and again while other nations collapse under pressure. Filipinos rise, and this resilience is not just survival, it's a weapon of influence. Because when you put a Filipino in any environment, they adapt and thrive. Think about the United States military. Over 300,000 Filipinos and Filipino Americans have served, many of them in critical positions, from World War II to Iraq and Afghanistan. In fact, thousands of Filipinos fought shoulder to shoulder with Americans during World War II. Their bravery so legendary that even U.S. generals admitted they couldn't have won without them. Today, the U.S. Navy is filled with Filipino sailors, engineers, and medics, quietly becoming the backbone of one of the strongest militaries in history. But the story doesn't stop at the military, because Filipinos are also the secret economic engine of the world. Over 12 million Filipinos live outside the Philippines, working as doctors, nurses, caregivers, engineers, seafarers, and teachers in almost every nation. You can imagine these overseas Filipino workers are called OFWs, and they send home over $30 billion every year, making the Philippines one of the largest receivers of remittances globally. But here's the hidden truth. These workers aren't just supporting their families. They are fueling industries abroad. Hospitals in the United States and Europe would collapse without Filipino nurses. The shipping industry would come to a halt without Filipino seafarers. The care industry in countries like Japan and Canada would fall apart without Filipino caregivers. Their skills and dedication have become so critical that many nations quietly recruit Filipinos, knowing they will bring loyalty, discipline, and compassion. This is power not in the form of weapons, but in people, and it is why some experts call Filipinos the world's invisible army. Another weapon that Filipinos carry is culture. The Philippines is one of the most English-speaking nations in Asia, and this has turned the country into a global hub for outsourcing, from call centers to IT support to creative industries. When you call customer service, there's a high chance you're speaking to a Filipino, and they are so good at adapting accents and communication that most people never realize it's not local. But beyond business, Filipinos are shaping global culture in music, sports, and entertainment. Boxing champions like Manny Pacquiao put the country on the map, showing the world the fighting spirit of a Filipino singers like Lea Salonga, who became a Disney princess, or new rising stars who dominate on TikTok and YouTube. Show that Filipino talent resonates globally. And then there's the secret weapon of values. Filipinos are deeply family-oriented, community-driven, and spiritual. They bring warmth and humanity into everything they do, in an age where technology and profit dominate the world. This human touch is rare and powerful. Imagine a nurse in a hospital, not just treating you as a patient, but as family. Imagine a co-worker who treats the team like siblings. Imagine a soldier who fights not just for orders, but for honor. This is the Filipino way, and it leaves a mark wherever they go. That is why when global powers look at the Philippines, they don't just see a small archipelago in Southeast Asia. They see a global force of people who have infiltrated every system, every structure, every culture, and turned it into something better. And yet here is the irony. While the world benefits from Filipinos, the Philippines itself has often struggled. Poverty, corruption, and weak governance have kept the country from realizing its full potential. But what outsiders fail to see is that this struggle has only made Filipinos tougher, more resourceful, and more unstoppable, because when you have learned to survive with little, you can thrive with anything. And now, as global tensions rise in Asia, with China pushing its claims in the South China Sea, the United States expanding its bases in the Philippines, and Russia seeking influence, the world is realizing just how important Filipinos are. Imagine if conflict erupts in Asia. The Philippines sits at the center, strategically critical to trade routes and military operations. But beyond geography, the true strength lies in its people. Filipinos have already proven their loyalty to allies like the United States and their courage to fight for freedom and independence. If global war breaks out, the Filipino soldier, the Filipino worker, the Filipino thinker, and the Filipino leader will be the difference makers. And here is where the secret weapon becomes undeniable. Filipinos are not just survivors, they are connectors. They build bridges between cultures east and west. They can move between worlds and still remain themselves, and that makes them unpredictable, powerful, and invaluable in the game of nations. So the question is, why has the world underestimated them for so long, perhaps? Because their power is quiet, not loud, because they influence through kindness, not dominance, because they win loyalty through service, not control. But make no mistake, this quiet power is exactly what makes them unstoppable in today's world, where soft power matters as much as hard power. Filipinos are winning without the world even realizing it. Their music is streamed globally. Their nurses are healing millions. Their seafarers are keeping ships moving. Their soldiers are standing watch in distant lands. Their families are spreading love, resilience, and joy across continents. So when we say Filipinos are the world's most powerful secret weapon, it is not just a phrase. It is the truth. And it is a truth the world can no longer ignore, because every nation that has embraced Filipinos has grown stronger. Every industry that employs them has become more stable. Every culture that welcomed them has been enriched in ways that cannot be measured by money or politics. And as the Philippines itself begins to rise economically, culturally, and strategically, the world will realize that this so-called secret weapon is about to step into the spotlight. And when that happens, the world will not just see the strength of a small nation. They will see the unstoppable power of a people who have quietly been shaping the future all along. The most powerful secret weapon is not hidden in a vault, not buried underground, not flying in the sky. It is walking among us, speaking our languages, healing our sick, defending our freedoms, and singing our songs. It is the Filipino spirit, and the world is finally waking up to its unstoppable power.